Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to Apex Online Racing Season 16, brought to you by Driver61 and our lovely patrons. This is a Tier 2 Tuesday. Qualifying has just begun. So I do believe that who is going to be our first car out there actually setting a flying lap? It looks like car number 911. We will grab that one up, which is Sheckerman. And I do apologise for the slightly less than enthusiastic comms at the moment. Having some slight audio issues on my end. So currently, cannot hear anything. Which is making commentating reasonably difficult. But Sheckerman about to cross the line and should be the first person to set a flying lap. So, where is the benchmark being set? Oh, immediately it's beaten by Zorich, to be fair, 132. There we go. Audio issues ironed out on my end. That was a bit easier, so do apologise for that. I know it was a little bit quiet for a little while there, but we should now be up and rocking and rolling. Right, lap times have been flying in. At the moment, Imran Azar is the fastest driver out there in the BMW. It was a pole position yesterday for the BMW. Young Alan Drake Cruz just turned 12 and absolutely dominated Tier 1 yesterday, textbook drive. So again, going to mention that because it is absolutely astounding that a 12-year-old was so incredibly quick. So massive shout out to that young driver. But now, keeping a little eye here on Azar, we're going to see if anyone else is doing big improvements at the moment. Who is on big improvements? Craig Law. Let's jump on board with Craig Law for Sector Blitz Racing. And we'll jump on board. So if we're going very quiet to incredibly loud now. Coming through turn 13, long left-hander. And we'll actually stay on him for another flying lap, I think, as long as he stays out. Pitched it in, turn 14. Was running in 16th place, but half a second up on his lap time. Big improvement being had here. Runs towards the line. Big drag towards the line. Gets himself up into 9th place. I'm very happy with that one. So we will stay on board just for one flying lap. So down the main straight. Then the first turn. Left-hander. Lots of runoff area. Got to be a little bit careful with the track limits here. Again, hard on the brakes. First of the sort of semi-hairpins is turn 2. Then flying through turn 3 before getting hard on the brakes. Cruise 4 and 5. A little bit of a blast of the throttle before they're having to slow down again. Gets it through 5 nicely. Brakes again here at 6. It's just over 90 degrees. Then you've got a little bit of a back straight with another flying left-hander of turn 7 coming up. Then a long turn here at turn 8. Not too tight, sort of a mid-speed corner. And a quick flick to the left again for turn 9 before getting hard on the brakes. Turn 11. You can hear the traction control kicking in, trying to keep the back of the Aston Martin in check. Flying up through turn 12. Big brave moment. There it was. Oh, definitely overcooks it. A little bit too much inside curve, and that is off and out of there. Back to the pits for Craig Law then. Right, Smulders, he is on a big improvement. He is 0.3 up on his lap time. Running the JS1 AOR team. Oh, and in fact actually abandons the lap. Right, next person on the big improvement. And this is Ben Gilroy for Optimum Motorsport. Coming towards the line, he's 0.4 up on his lap. This should be a big jump up the order for him. Up into first place. First person to break into the 130s. Obviously very happy with that and pulls to the side. Still, though, about 8 minutes of qualifying left. Nathaniel Shirley just about to start, just about to finish flyer, I think. Coming across the line. He's still out there on a flyer and still pushing. In fact, let's jump on board this lovely sounding Mustang and go for a lap with him during quali. Running in 23rd place at the moment, but already improving on his lap. Obviously a wildly loud car, but somewhat not as devastatingly loud when you're inside the car as you would imagine. So compared to something like the Aston or the Mercedes, it doesn't seem too loud. But I know from the outside perspective, it's a very loud car. Obviously all the noise is escaping out the back of the exhaust. So flies down towards turn 10, sorry, turn 9, now turn 10. We're getting hard on the brakes for 11. Long way round to go. Massive improvement here for Nathaniel Shirley, nearly half a second up on his lap. Flying right-hander here for the 12, gets it done, little bit squirrely on the exit. That would have lost him a little bit of time. Gonna have to keep it absolutely planted now down through turn 13, gets on the brakes for 14, gets the car turned in. And that is a mad dash to the line. Lost a little bit of time there on the exit of that final turn. Still going to be an improvement up to 17th place, and he seems pretty happy with that. Pulls to the side. I'm trying to gain some people who are on flyers at the moment. Robert R. Larvey for the Kawadi Porsche team, kind of a 189, currently running in 25th position, but is improving on his lap. Makes his way through turn 8. Down towards turn 9, swings it in. So turn 10 and 11 almost become one in the same. It's a very brave line through there. You can sort of commit without having to lift too much. Now towards turn 12, how is the Porsche going to do here? Nicely put together there, nice and tidy, has to be said. Massive improvement at the moment. He is half a second up on his lap. One corner left to go. A little bit wide on the exit, but I think he just about kept it within the line, so was in 25th. And where will he go? Up into 14th place, 11 paces gained. Huge improvement there. Right, Melvin Crows, another Sector Blitz racing driver in the 233. The Wailing Lamborghini comes through turn 12, keeping it nice and tidy there. Running in 9th at the moment, sort of keeps flicking between an improvement and sort of coming with a bit of stalemate from last time, but now he's improving. At the important part of the lap, he has an improvement under his belt. So he was in 10th, comes across the line, gets himself up into 9th position. So jumping on now with Capira, running in 25th place at the moment for the TF Sport Aston Martin car. And still slowly improving on his lap time over the space of a lap. Now 0.2 of a second up on the lap. Through turn 12, gets it done. We've seen the Aston get a little bit squirrely here, but does seem to hold it together. 0.4 up on his lap. Big improvements coming now. Just about to enter the last 3 minutes of qualification. Good run. He should be able to tuck in behind the Rover Racing BMW and get a bit of a tow towards the line. 0.6 up on his lap. Up into 12th place. Huge jump up the order. Absolutely massive jump up the order, and still pushing on. Jumping on board the Wee Bros car for Zetec. Car number 14, currently running in 16th position, but another driver who is improving on their lap. Again, about to fly up towards turn 12, coming towards the end of the lap. Oh, getting a little bit skittish there, but keeping it absolutely planted, and I think he lost a little bit of time. Actually, to claw it back, though, through turn 13 and 14, it is going to be an improvement. It might not be as big as he would have hoped, but was in 16th and now finds himself in 13th. Right, going over to Jones, the Jones team. Currently running in 17th place, car number 9, goes through turn 12, enters 13, the long left-hander. One of those corners where turn 13 blends almost into 14, or tightens essentially into turn 14. So Jones still improving, but lost quite a bit of time there through turn 13 and 14. Is there going to be an improvement here? Was in 12, stays in 12, lost just too much time with those 2 final turns, and then way wide at turn 1. Right, Smulders. And we seem to keep jumping onto drivers just as they're coming towards turn 12, but here we go. Improving. Callin's just in front of him, and Vives also improving around him, but this could be a nice little jump up the order for now. So Smulders running in 6th place, looking to improve. He's fractionally quicker than he was, and there we go, up into 5th position. Vives for Digital Racing Systems Esports, or DRS for short, in the 420 Lexus. Was looking very strong in the free practice session before Holly. But has in fact now dropped off a time. Oh, you can see the bottom of the car just scuffed through there. In fact, let's go back and just get another quick glance at that as it goes through turn 12. Just the way the bottom of the car drops out. Bang, huge hit. How on earth that car held together then, I have no idea. Absolutely bottomed out. I don't think it's going to be an improvement here for Vives. It is not. Smulders still on an improvement. He's actually just dropped down. Someone else just jumped up into the top 6. So he was in 5th, now down to 6th. I think that was probably Callin's. Smulders is improving, wringing the neck out of the McLaren. I think 11/10ths of that car being used at the moment. He's still just about improving, dipping back and forth between an improvement and a stalemate. Runs all the way to the line. He is on an improvement. This is going to be his final opportunity. Was in 6th. Gets himself into 3rd place. Massive jump up the order. Fantastic. Right, jumping on with Luca Ziga. Rachel 350Z Porsche. Big improvement for this driver now. 0.3 up on their lap. So this could be a real upset to the top 5, if not even further up. He is only about 0.05 of a second behind Azar in pole position, and this is a big final lap coming from him. One of the final cars to be coming across the line as well. Final stretch towards the line. He's now dropped a little bit of time through turn 13. He's 0.3 up. It's still going to be a big improvement, but it's not going to put him on pole. Third place, big jump up the order. He would be very, very happy with that one. And so of the drivers that are still out there, no one appears to be making any kind of improvements. Right, so we will run through the grid order in just a minute, but while we are waiting for the cars to begin gridding up, let's have a little look at the championship as it stands. Melvin Crowe's in first place in the championship with a whopping 330 points, followed by Joe Dorber with 256, Jones with 224, Nathaniel Shirley in fourth with 210, and fifth is Smolders with 198, Zetec in sixth with 193, Azar with 179, Lucas Egger with 169 in 8th place. 9th place is Craig Law, 166 points, and Carl Schuber in 10th place in the championship. Having a quick look here as well at the team points. Sector Blitz Racing absolutely dominating the team championship, way out in front. But enough of talking about the team championship. We don't need to know about that anymore. Let's talk about what is happening right here on the circuit right now. Let's go to the wrong camera. There it is. That's the one we wanted. And let's find our pole sitting driver, Imran Azar. Oh, 30 minutes is rain coming. I will just quickly say that before I go too far. This is going to be a real changeable event now. So halfway through this race, we're expecting rain. So hold on to your hats. It's going to be a saucy one. Right, pole position. Imran Azar. Second place is Gilroy. Lucas Ziga in third place. Smolders in fourth. Callins in fifth. Vermac, sixth position. Verdes in seventh. Joe Dorber, eighth. Craig Law is in 9th. Melvin Crowe's our championship leader, all the way down in 10th. Zetec in 11th. Brian Checkerman in 12th place. Jones in 13th. Kapira 14th. Misiak in 15th place. Lewis Robinson in 16th place. Robert Arlavi 17th. Chirich in 18th place. God, I absolutely love that livery. So ridiculous. So over the top. Wonderful. Zorich in 19th place, Oliver Braun in 20th. So continuing on down the order. Boateng in 21st place, Nathaniel Shirley 22nd, Brian Anderson 23rd, Declan Brogan 24th. 25th place is Dullblom. McGonigal in 26th, Satam 27th, Orishkin in 28th. 29th is Jay Jans, Mark Ripper in 30th, Paul Sims 31st, Kristinich 32nd. 33rd is Mathiasson and is Zolovic in 34th. And if I am not mistaken, it was Igor Kristinich and Mathiasson who actually had quali bans. So that would be why they are starting so far back. As for Zolovic, I'm not sure. Didn't see anything obviously stating that they were not allowed to race, but for whatever reason they are not. So for now, the circuit is looking nice and jam-packed, full of cars, what we like to see, but it is going to rain in 30 minutes. I do love this shot where you can kind of almost keep zooming out slowly and you can nearly see every single car on the grid. Not quite. If we go Dublin, no, a little bit further forward. Brian Anderson, one more, Nathaniel Shirley. There it is. Pretty much every single car is now there visible on the grid, and you get an idea of the diversity that you have with GT3 racing. It is not just all the same car and who's got the best design. The mix-up of cars that you can have is so good to watch. So whether it be real or sim racing, GT3 is definitely worth a watch. So we're going to stay on the drone cam for just a little while. We'll jump back up towards our leaders. And so, to get an idea of just how nicely things work out, we've got BMW, McLaren, Porsche, Lexus, a Ferrari, an Aston Martin, and a Lamborghini, all inside the top 10. So a whole whopping load of different manufacturers, all finding themselves competitive inside the top 10. So this is the formation lap. 30 minutes, and then we're going to get some rain, or near around 30 minutes. We'll see some rain, unless obviously that starts to dry off. So yesterday's Tier 1 race had very wet qualifying, but then it stayed dry during the actual race itself. Not that that helped them with the amount of collisions there were over the first couple of laps. Fingers crossed Tier 2 gonna manage to hold it together and keep it a little bit cleaner this time. Let's hope. So not long to go now. Let's see if we can get the... There it is, the rear wing shot. So this is looking over the rear wing of Imran Azar, that BMW. As you can see them all beginning to stack up behind. So that weird engine note coming off the car is where the brakes are being held at the same time as the throttle. Trying to generate as much heat into those brakes. They can soak through the wheel into the tyre. Soon all the drivers will be getting the call, getting them to stack up side by side with a rolling start. So yeah, round 10-13, you can see, looking back, you can see them all stacking up behind. In fact, let's get a little bit of an idea of what it is like. You can see just how many cars there are around you. Mirror chock full of cars. This is from 12th place on the grid. This is Shackerman. Right, we're going to go up to the drone cam for this now. The run to the line. No, we're not. We're not going to do the drone cam because it looks absolutely awful. Right, here we go. Running to the line. Lights are still red at the moment. Any second, lights will go green. And lights do go green. Here we go. Tier 2 Tuesdays kicking off. Azar just about managing to hold on to it. Getting pretty dicey in the background. Gilroy has a little look to the outside. Can't get it done, but does manage to hold off the back of Luca Ziga. Does manage to do it. Callens as well, fully on the charge. Looks to the inside through turn 2. Gets the overlap. Oh, a little bit of a rub there with Ziga. Ziga going to try and come back here now under braking. Yes, he does. Gets to the inside. Gets unsettled though, trying to get the power down on that slightly tighter line. The back of the car unsettled, and he does end up losing it ever so slightly. Oh, and he's all over the place. What on earth happened there for Ziga? I'm not entirely sure. But for now, we have a new pole sitter. I'm waiting for the timing board to sort itself out because it's currently showing everyone all over the place. So Zorich at the moment, no, sorry, not. Gilroy at the moment running in pole position. Azar in second place. Smolder's mobbing the back of him like a seagull at the beach after the chippies. Jumping back a little bit to car number 336 of Lewis Robertson, 13th place. Mid-pack. Oh, and it hits off in front of them. 2 positions going to be easily gained here for Robinson. I think Capera did a good job then of backing out after he made contact with Zitek. Obviously, positions lost for both those drivers, but that could have been a lot worse. I think the fact that the two of them were quite sort of quick on it. Decent bit of driving for both those drivers to avoid a major incident. Right, Jones is now having a go. And Robert Arlavi as well starting to have a go. Trying to come around the outside. He's going to try and go around Jones as well. They're going to be 3 wide towards turn 1. Robert thinks better of it, and that's probably a good shout there. No point trying to completely go around the outside. So Chirich at the moment does manage to hold on to the position. So it's Chirich, Jones, then Arlavi, and then a whole ream of cars battling it out in front of them. Sorry, behind them. Lewis Robinson now under attack from Zitek. He gained that position a minute or 2 ago. After Capera and Zitek got together, the BMWs across the board seem to be struggling to get themselves up and going at full race pace straight away. In fact, Azar now has dropped down to 3rd place, if I'm not mistaken. Wait for the time board to sort itself out again. Car number 916 with a yellow flag. It was only very brief, but that is McGonigal. We'll go back 30 seconds, see if we can spot what happened. Let's go to the drone cam. The drone cam tells all. So what happened here? Was it self-inflicted, or did he have a bit of contact with someone? I'm not entirely sure. The Rover Racing BMW right up behind him. Oh, just gets on the throttle a bit too quickly. Unsettles the car, and it goes around on him. Does manage to hold it, but that does pretty much set him all the way to the back of the grid. He'll be very disappointed in that. Battle going on now, though, for P2. And through goes Azar, turn 1. Means Smolders is right on the outside now for turn 2. He's going to have to try and go all the way around the outside. Can he do it? No, he can't. Loses the position, and now he has Vitaveres in the fighting Lexus coming up behind. That Lexus, like an aged samurai. Might not be the youngest and most modern and advanced piece of equipment, but it knows what it is doing. And luckily, due to the custom BOP that we run here at AOR, it does mean that that car is still competitive, as you can tell, as it is up there fighting, essentially in the battle for second place, really. But Azar, who went from qualifying and very strong in qualifying, seems to be struggling now to get the car with its full race weight of fuel properly switched on. This little battle just starting to maybe relax off a little piece. Right, dropping back now to this one. This is Kapira versus Chirich. So Kapira has made it past Chirich. Wait, no, Kapira was already in front. Sorry, I'm thinking Mr. Jones. So Jones is still behind Chirich. This one seems to be going on. But yeah, Kapira has definitely dropped back. Let's have a look over that rear wing. There it is, over the rear wing, back towards Chirich. This is down towards turn 1. You can see the Porsche not as good on that turn in as the Aston Martin is of Jones. Jones does appear to be looking to the inside for turn 1. No, he can't do it. Sorry, turn 2. Can't seem to quite get it done. Nice little battles going on there. Right, back down the grid a bit further. We've got even more battles going on. We've got Dahlblum versus Kristanich versus Anderson versus Jay Jans. Oh no, I read that completely wrong. Sorry, that was my bad. It's Jay Jans versus Callens versus Andersons versus Tam. So not entirely sure where I got those numbers from. And just hearing from one of the teams, Phil and George, not able to make it today. He's got work. Yeah, sometimes happens. This is the downside of sim racing. It's not quite as set in stone as some of the real life racing. But Jay Jans does lose that position. Through goes. That was Callens, wasn't it? Yeah, Callens does go through. Battle going on behind them though. Anderson versus Satam. Ferrari versus McLaren, and coming up behind them as well is Brogan, looking to try and take advantage of these two squabbling. Another little battle going on a little bit further back as well. Sims and Boateng. So for now, they just about level off. Up near the front, still dipping and diving. Battle's getting close. Little one going on further back now. I think that is Mathiasson. We just saw... Oh, I think there might be a little incident there at turn 1. Let's have a go back. So Mathiasson on the inside for turn 1. Does get the car thrown in. Oh, and the Ferrari behind. I thought there might have been an incident, but no, I think it was just simply a case of lost a bit of front end traction and the car went wobbly. Very lucky to hold that one up together. Right, here comes some hot stuff. Here we go. Right, we're going to go back 10 seconds and then we'll catch back up with them in just a minute. So this is Dorber side by side with Luca Ziga, who seems to have dropped back significantly. Oh no, it's not. They've just caught up. So this is Vermac, then being chased down by Ziga. Then we have, well, Dorber's now actually got past Ziga. And the Porsche of Ziga is not looking particularly good this evening. It is looking a bit unsettled here. That foot splitter clam there of Dorber's looking forward. Then we go to the rear wing. You can see behind. Ziga brakes, gets right in behind, but look at the way the Lamborghini is coming up behind Ziga. Can he do anything on the brakes into turn 2? He does look to the inside. There's room given. Little bit of paint trading there. Ziga going to try and run it all the way around the outside and then get it back here. Yes, does get it back. But he was off the racing line, but is managing to hold on to it. For now, that position is still there. So Melvin Crowe's Sector Blitz Racing, our championship leader, running in 8th place at the moment, and has found a little bit of a cork in the bottle when it comes to that Porsche. He's got Law behind him as well, so that's a teammate. So at least he knows he's not going to have to defend when Robinson starts to close up on them, or if Robinson starts to close up on them. But this is looking pretty spicy. It's going to have to be a very clean run here through turn 12, I think, for Ziga to be able to do it. And the car looked very unsettled last time round. And again, big bounce. How the back end of that car manages to maintain traction, I have no idea. It seems to spend about as much time in the air as it does on the floor. This could be the run, though. Up close. He's going to be in the slipstream down towards turn 1. Can he get to the inside? Not sure he can. Just saw Scheckerman coming offline a little bit, having to go slightly defensive. Z-Tech was looking for a move round there. Again, to the inside goes Crows. Can he do it? Much better overlap this time. The Porsche looked more unsettled. He's not going to be able to go all the way around the outside, I don't think. Slightly defensive move there from Crows. Does get it done. He just managed to get the nose in front and slow the car on the apex. He knew he couldn't be super fast through there, but he just needed to get the car in front, get on the brakes, and get it done. So through goes Crows. Another position gain up into 7th place at the moment. Dorber, just in front, is now having a battle with Vermac. This one heating right up Dorber, again wanting to try and improve. Running 2nd in the championship. He'll be wanting to try and get as many points over Crows as he possibly can. And now there is no cars between them. Big move to the inside. I think that should just about stick. Yes, it does. The BMW is going to be all the way to the outside, though, coming towards turn 12. Who's going to be bravest? BMW tries to go around the outside. Couldn't quite get it done. It was always going to be a case of someone was going to have to give up there. And as it turns out, it was Vermac that ended up being run out wide. It was always going to be difficult, and there's no way you can fit 2 cars side by side through that corner at any kind of pace. But still, you can now see Vermac on the attack. Going to try and maybe go for a switchback through turn 1. Dorber did go defensive. It means he's got a slow exit, but he goes all the way across to the left. Super defensive moves here from Dorber. He's obviously thinking to himself, he just needs at least a lap or so to try and get away a little bit. But now Crows on the attack, sniffing around the back of the BMW. Crows is going for 6th place. He's immediately there. He is caught up at the back of those two while they were squabbling. Obviously has no intentions of hanging around. Gilroy setting the fastest lap of the race, running in pole position at the moment, and then also getting the fastest lap now. So obviously pulling away. That front pack really has started to break away from everyone now. Right, Vermac has now definitely dropped away from Dorber. New cork in the bottle appearing. This whole train pretty much goes all the way back, actually. I was about to say it goes back to Scheckerman, but I think it goes even further back than that. I think it pretty much goes back to Z-Tech and Capira, so all the way from 6th basically to 12th. All those cars absolutely stacked up, nose to tail, looking to the inside. Crows just seem to have better speed through turn 13. He gets the car across for turn 14. Great bit of driving there, gets the car across. Oh, forces Vermac to go super evasive. Again, great bit of driving by Crows. Knew he wasn't going to have the speed on the exit, so just put his car exactly where the BMW was going to want to be. He is going to be on the inside for turn 1. And the car number 47 just cannot seem to hold the traction. Now Lucas Ziga looking to the inside. He goes 3 wide through turn 2. Very, very close stuff. I don't think anyone was expecting it to suddenly go 3 wide. But the big winner there is Law. Ziga is almost certainly going to try and come back now. And does. Oh, a bit of contact between them. Chris Law still off the racing line. Does finally manage to get himself back in there. Lewis Robinson as well now starting to squabble around the back of them. Law, Vermac and Robinson, and to be fair, Zetec as well, they'd be better off not squabbling too much, get themselves past that Porsche and then go forward. So battles going on absolutely everywhere, pretty much apart from at the very, very top. This little battle we're going to keep an eye on for the moment. This is the battle for essentially 7th place. So this is Ziga, Law, Vermac, Robinson and Zetec all now in the squabble, and not far behind there's even more cars that are on an absolute charge, all in their own little battles as well, trying to push forward. This should be where the Aston should have a bit of an advantage over the Porsche. It's going to be a run all the way down towards turn 1, all going to be in the tail of each other. A little look to the inside there, but not doing it. Law decides to hold on to it. Cleaner through turn 1. Oh, big load of weaving going on, having to go super defensive suddenly. Finds himself with Vermac trying to go down the inside. He had to move across to the left-hand side to defend. Always one of those things you want to keep pushing forward, but you've got to be aware of when cars are behind. Lewis Robinson going defensive there into turn 3. Covers the inside off, stopping Zetec being able to make any kind of dive up the inside. That has given Vermac just the tiniest little bit of breathing room. He's still recovering from having to survive the defence that Law was putting up. But this battle has now turned into an absolute ream of cars. It's going all the way back pretty much into the 20s now. So 7th place pretty much all the way back. You can see in the background, look, it's pretty much back to the Rover Racing the Ripper. It's so far back. This whole queue of cars all getting stuck now behind Ziga. Rain coming in around 10 minutes. I'm not sure if it's only going to be a little splash, as it looks like it's not going to be lasting forever, but could be enough. But who is going to make the call? Who's going to go to wets? Who's going to stay on dries? Looking at the setup of Ziga, I think that car is definitely on a full dry setup. Ziga forced to go defensive now towards turn 1. Car number 916 we've just seen with the yellow flag. Round the outside goes Law. Think he's going to have it just on pure pace alone, and he is absolutely swinging on past Ziga. Ziga forced to go to the outside. Through comes Vermac as well. Not too much love loss, I don't think, between these two. And now Robinson as well trying to take advantage. Ziga going onto the grass just a little bit. Does end up losing the position. Robinson now right on the back of him. So one BMW's just got past. Now it's time for another. Zetec as well. Going to be looking to try and get past 2 at 1, I think. This squabble going all the way back is pretty hefty stuff. In fact, if we go on board with Ziga, let's try and look over the rear wing. Looking back, you can see the absolute deluge of cars pouring their way through the circuit at the moment. They are absolutely on it. Lewis Robinson is the next person up to the plate to try and find a way past Lucas Ziga. And if he can't get it done soon, I think we're then going to start seeing Zetec and Capira putting on the pressure. But looks to the inside, end of turn 13. Can't quite get it done. Should have a decent run on the exit here. It looks like he does. Is it going to be enough, though? Also, Zetec with that low car. Very, very easy to sit in behind and try and get an advantage. They're going to be side by side into turn 1. Ziga just about holding on. He's going to be on the outside for turn 1, but now Zetec as well. Is it almost going to be 3 wide? No, it's not. Ziga trying to go all the way around the outside, trying to maintain the pace. It's not working this time. Robinson does go through. Zetec trying to look for an opportunity to get through. He can't do it. But Ziga is not having the race he would have wanted, hemorrhaging positions, and that is even before the rain has arrived. Lewis Robinson is now starting to pull away and is now going to be chasing after the back of Vermac. Porsche on Porsche action a little bit further back. We have got Chirich versus Arlavi versus Scheckerman. Obviously, as the commentator, zero, obviously completely impartial. Definitely not cheering on Chirich with the absolutely ridiculous livery. Fantastic to see such creative liveries going on all throughout the grid. But this little battle is now really starting to heat up as well. Lewis Robinson hasn't managed to break away from Ziga, so after getting through, hasn't been able to do what Vermac did and pull away. He's still a little bit there. Maybe that's because Zetec hasn't caught up to the back of Ziga quite the same. He's not having to defend, but this mid-pack of cars is an absolute train. I think we've just seen in the background Nathaniel Shirley looking a little bit to the inside. Yes, we have. Let's go back 10 seconds. So this is through turn 1. Big swipe across to the left-hand side. Tries to go up the inside. He's now on the back of Robert Arlavi. Up the inside of the number 3 Porsche. But he's now got... That would have also been the BMW. So that was Ripper 90. Also trying to get a little bit of an overlap. But Nathaniel Shirley, fourth performance car number 46, is looking pretty racy at the moment. And here is the rain. Here we are. It started raining. This is when madness will almost certainly ensue. And immediately it does happen. Ziga already looking very unsettled. The car through turn 12 really, really going wild. The track's still green at the moment. So I would imagine for a little while, slicks are still going to be preferable. But it is only going to get harder and harder. Who is that that's just jumped into the pits? One of the drivers has... That's Braun, has jumped into the pits, immediately coming in. Ooh, and off goes one of the... That's Capera, very, very wide. Robinson now going up the inside of Vermac. Fair play to Robinson, obviously immediately taking advantage of the wet weather. Obviously feels a lot more comfortable in that BMW. Oh no, but he does go round. He gets rotated. Oh, and then there's a double hit there. Let's go back 30 seconds. We'll go to the drone cam and see what happens. So this was down at turn 1, I believe. So he gets the move done between turn 1 and turn 2. This is where we tuned in originally. Now, what happens down here? They get through turn 3 fine. Oh, and there is a hit on the back of the car. And I just don't think he held the brakes there and ended up hitting cars again. So... Although, obviously, not great that he got hit, but then I don't think he held the brakes either, so that might not help his chances too much in the post-race penalty system when that all comes through. So, we now have Capera, Scheckerman, Chirich and Jones all stacking up towards each other. So Robinson, as we saw, has obviously dropped right off, and I think has actually just come into the pits. So I'm going to have a look to see where Vermac has gone. Vermac into the pits as well. So both those drivers, after that incident between them, have dropped way, way down the order. They'll be very disappointed in that. But both deciding to come into the pits. So the rain isn't going to stick around forever. I think this is going to be a case of those who are bravest might try and hold out on slick tyres. Really going to depend on how brave you are. Obviously, one mandatory pit stop here. You really don't want to pit twice unless you really have to. And over the space of a 1 hour race, pitting twice is going to be an absolute death sentence. Kind of a 916 we've just seen. Yellow flag out for that one. That is McGonagall. I think we saw this earlier on. So is this just the car running in the wet and just not... Oh, way too much inside curb there on turn 12. And the car does rotate round, obviously not able to get the grip. But yeah, McGonagall not having what they would have wanted. And I think they're coming into the pits now as we speak. Right, Gilroy, Azar, Smolders, Vivez, all coming into the pits. And once the timing board sorts itself out, here we go. Right, so Dorber is now the leading car that has not pitted. It is going to be interesting to see how it goes. And just seeing in the chat there, someone giving a quick shout out to Gilroy. Saying that he did join late and his race pace is sort of tier 1-esque. It's one of those things, sometimes you can be the fastest driver out there, but it's all got to come together and just work the same way. We've had some big names that have had seasons like that. I think Grantis Caracas is the real one I always go back to. Incredibly fast driver, but one of his first seasons in tier 1, it was, well, he might even be tier 2. It was an absolute mess. But Dorber holding on to pole position for now. He's got Crows, the champion. Oh. What happened there? Ah, okay. Not sure what happened there. I think I may have just lost connection to the server. Absolutely fantastic news. Right, do stick with us, everyone. We are just going to nip over to this screen for just a minute or two while I just try and work out what on earth has happened there. I think I've been disconnected from the server, which does occasionally happen, but not the quickest thing to try and get yourself back into. So do stay with us. I do apologise for interrupting your viewing pleasure at home. So what was heating up in the middle of the rain session is now suddenly become... I'm a bit blind to it, sadly. But hopefully we will get back and we will get everything up and running as soon as possible. So again, do apologise for the slight interruption here. I'm hoping it is just me that has been kicked and not everybody all at once, because that would be an absolute disaster. So fingers crossed we can get ourselves back. We are back. Oh, and I think just as I've joined, I've just seen cars going all over the place. So absolutely joyous. I've coming back just in the nick of time, it would seem. So there we go. We are back. Apologies to everyone at home for that delay there. Got to love the joys of technology and Southwest Internet. So it appears that it was just me that ended up getting kicked for whatever reason. Typically the one person that everyone's watching. But more importantly, I'm not racing, so I have time to get back into it. Right, it looks like it is going to stay pretty wet for the foreseeable. Obviously, it is going to go cloudy again in about half an hour, but that's pretty much the end of the race. So I think if anyone has stayed on slicks, that is almost certainly a mistake. But speaking of people that I think are still on slicks, oh, and that's the 888 car who has pulled over there. What happened? We'll go back 10 seconds, see if we can catch it. Oh, not quite far enough back. Typical. I think that is probably a case of trying to run on slicks, staying off the racing line there as well, to try and avoid any incidents. But yeah, that is not what you need. It's definitely wet weather tyres out there now. So, bit of a change up again at the front. Azar in pole position, Gilroy second. Now it is Ripper. Oh no, here we go. It's all trying to sort itself out. Timing board. So Gilroy. Alright, I'm going to give up for a moment. We're trying to read this. It is having an absolute wobbly. I think due to the fact that people are in the pits. But here's a nice battle going on screen. And so that is Kapira going up against Chirich, I believe. Yeah, just gone through on Chirich. No, that is Shackerman. What on earth is going on with my timing? So apologies about that one. So this is Kapira versus Shackerman versus Jones. The Aston's obviously feeling a lot more comfortable in the wet than any of the other cars out there. Misak coming into the pit, so that is going to mean that Imran Azar is going to take over pole position of the race again, followed by Gilroy, followed by Smolders. Little squabble going on here though, is looking very close, and in fact this one up front is looking even closer. Up the inside goes Zitek, or this might actually be Luca bringing the fight back. I think we were all kind of thinking there's no way that Porsche was going to go well in the wet, but actually seems to be pretty good. He's got the inside and he's got the nose in front for turn one. How on earth he managed to get that one together? Doesn't run out too wide. Oh, we get super unsettled. Just managed to hold the car together. How on earth he didn't over-rotate there, I have no idea. Just about managing to keep that car in the right direction. He's going to go defensive now though. Possibly looking for the switch back here. Zitek not quite able to do it. Currently stuck in the middle of a pork sandwich. Ziga looking pretty comfortable at the moment in the wet though. I don't think anyone saw that coming, to be brutally honest. The Porsche not the kind of car you would have expected to be overly dominant here. But as well for Chirich, looking pretty comfortable out there in the wet, especially against the McLaren. Of battle going on further back, or at least the timing board was suggesting so. I think Nathaniel Shirley has just broken away from that little battle, leaving the Ferrari triplets here. Dahlblum, Kristanich and Dorber. Obviously Dorber recovering from earlier on, going off the circuit. Kapira now dropping back into the clutches of Jones. Aston versus Aston. Kapira versus Jones. In fact, it's kind of an 8 and kind of a 9 as well. There really couldn't be many more matching things if they tried, really, could there? It's looking pretty racing. Further down the order, though, the triplet of Ferraris still squabbling it out. See, looking off the rear wing of Dahlblum, looking back at Kristanich, and then also Dorber hiding there in the side of the shot as well. Oh, getting super close under braking, a little bit deep at the apex though. That would have lost him a little bit of time. Him pretty good though. And as you can see, just in front of them as well is Nathaniel Shirley, who is slowly pulling away from them. Oh, car number 22 we've just seen with a yellow flag. We'll see if we can find car number 22 on the list. That was Satam. What happened there? Was that just rain related? He appears to be kind of in a bit of no man's land, so I'm thinking that was probably rain related. Was that a little bit too much bravery on some wet curbing, I think? Yes, it was. You can see the car was unsettled, unable to get it stopped. Hold the brakes. Nicely done. Oh, and having to wait just a little while. Waiting for that safe rejoin. In fact, he's still running slicks. That car is still running slicks. You could see the yellow writing on the side of the tyre. Car number 707 as well. We have just seen a yellow flag out for that car, which is Anderson. Let's jump back 30 seconds for them, see if we can find out what happened. But Jay Jan's right up behind them, going through turn 1. Oh! Car number 4 just basically dawdled their way across the circuit there. So definitely some words are going to be had after this race. That was absolutely unacceptable rejoin, it has to be said. That was not best. Who is car number 4? That is Kristanich. No, is it? Yeah, it looked like it had 4 written on the side of it. Oh, yeah, it's one of those split liveried cars. Yeah, so pretty sure that was car number 4. It's looking pretty battered. Just cruised back across the circuit after going off at turn 1. Right, here's a good one. Arlavi versus Scheckerman. Arlavi going defensive. Scheckerman going to look to the outside. It's Porsche versus Porsche. The piggies fighting it out for 12th position. Again, super wet out there. You can see the way the cars are struggling to get themselves turned in. I think we might have multiple cars here that are still running slicks. I'm pretty sure we keep seeing the yellow banding on the side of the tyres. Very difficult to see, but I think Arlavi is definitely running slick tyres. Let's see if we can get a slightly closer shot of the side of the cars. Maybe not quite that close. Thank you, cameraman. We'll see what happens. We're looking for yellow banding. If it's yellow on the tyre wall, there is definite yellow banding there on Robert Arlavi's car. So he is certainly running slick tyres still. Let's look for Scheckerman, see if we can spot them. I think Scheckerman's running wet. I didn't see an obvious load of banding on those tyres. Again, kind of got to try and wait for that perfect camera angle. See, that looks... No, they're running slicks as well. So multiple drivers out there still running slick tyres. And I am mightily surprised by that. I mean, these are far better drivers than me. By this point, I would have definitely dived into the pits and chucked a set of wets on. Here we go. Law versus Smulders. Law goes through at turn 2. Gets it done nice and convincingly as well. That's Sector Blitz Racing. We've got multiple cars out there this evening. But he goes through on Smulders, and that is a nicely gained position. Pretty much textbook bit of racing there. Oh, car number 90. I think that is the BMW of Marco Ripper. It is. We'll go back and we'll go to Helicam, see what happened there. That was turn 12 into turn 13. So there's something happened here at the end of turn 13. It was always going to be a difficult circuit, let alone in the wet here. Oh, car just lets go under braking. Does end up being a bit of a three-way bump there. Lewis Robinson was involved in that one as well. Typical battles going on. No, we don't. That's just the timing board getting confused with people in the pits, as it always loves to do. Makes spotting battle so much easier. This is one going on though. Jones versus Capira. It's the number 8 versus the number 9, and it is the two Astons. TF Sport versus Jones team car as well. Those two squabbling it out continuingly. See, yellow banding on the side of the tyres again on Mr. Jones. Yellow banding should mean that that's a slick tyre, which seems ridiculous, but the yellow banding generally means slick tyre, and black is when they're on the wets. So I think people were holding out, hoping that it was maybe going to get drier a bit quicker, and they don't want to pit again. The time loss for pitting is going to be more than if you just stay out with everyone else. If everyone else is on slicks, it's only going to be people on wets that have an advantage. But yeah, really surprised to see the amount of yellow tyre walls we are seeing. It's that very, very odd to see. Definitely by this point I would have been diving into the pit. So Melvin Crowes, a driver who is on big improvements here. Can we see? Yeah, again, you can see that yellow banding on the tyres. I just cannot believe that these drivers are running slick tyres. Absolutely insane. And they're not that far off the pace. Well, they're running 138. So they are about 6 to 7 seconds slower than they have been before the rain came down. But still, the car's looking fairly well settled. Crowes, our championship leader, running in 6th place at the moment. Gonna jump back a bit further. Quick shout out to Jay Jans and the AMG Mercedes AMG 335. J Cool is the name of the car. Oh, kind of a 22 with a yellow flag. Someone has just made a very, very good point, and that does make sense. Saying, could it be a graphical glitch since the disconnect? You know what? That's a very good shout. That's a very good shout. It might be a case that it is just because I rejoined this, had to rejoin the server, completely restart the game. So, having a quick jump on there with a 22 car, and that was Satam again, just getting caught out. I mean, that car is behaving like it's on slick tyres, and it was showing the yellow writing on the tyres. That Pirelli rubber. So either we have got a bunch of people out there that are absolute psychopaths, or I'm having possibly a graphical error. I'm going to vote it could be either, to be honest. This is Apex Online Racing. We've seen stranger things. And some of the cars are really sort of behaving like they are on wets, and some are really behaving like they're on slicks, but I cannot imagine that Luca's car is on slicks. So, you know what? For now, we're just going to close our eyes and imagine that they're all on wets, just to make ourselves feel better at home for not being anywhere near as quick as them. Right, Robert R. Larvey versus Scheckerman. This one, pretty close stuff. For the Kawadi car, Robert R. Larvey. And in front of them as well, Capira versus Jones. That battle still going on. A little bit further down the order, even further, we then got Nathaniel Shirley as well, starting to have a bit of a squabble with Braun. A look at these two as they come past, see what we can spot on those tyre walls. Yellow banding, yellow banding. Yeah, I think it's got to have been a graphical error, I think. Rain should be coming to an end reasonably soon, though. Within 10 minutes, the rain should come to an end. But obviously, the circuit is nowhere near going to dry. I think the best bet is we might get to damp before the end of the race. There's no way it's going to get properly dry out there at all. But Nathaniel Shirley putting on quite a display at this time, chasing after the back of Braun. Such entirely different cars. That low-slung, purpose-built supercar of the Ferrari. Mid-engine, sort of everything about it from the very beginning is made to do this. And then versus the hulking great Mustang, which originally designed pretty much to go fast in a straight line. They make lots of noise, and it certainly does do both of those things here, but it also does some absolutely fantastic cornering speeds as well. As you can see through turn 13, that car looking decidedly quick. But it is just amazing with GT racing how you can have such completely different types of cars. One that is a purpose-built supercar and the other that is essentially a muscle car. It is fantastic to see them out here fighting bumper to bumper. Oh, and that was Robert Arlavi. Oh, what happened there? He was been battling with Scheckerman, so we're going to go back now. This is the battle leading up to turn 1. Defensive moves there from Arlavi. Does move across to the left, then slowly drifting back onto the racing line. Little look to the inside there for turn 1. Oh, it was just a self-inflicted mistake. Just stayed a little bit too out wide, trying to get the power back down on the painted stuff. Not able to get it working. And just about manages to hold on in front of Braun and Shirley. Dorber has now joined the back of this battle as well, so what was looking like a possible chance for Shirley to move forward now finds himself being absolutely mobbed by Joe Dorber, very fast driver. So we saw him have an incident earlier on in the race, hence he is so far down the order. Mr. Jones still squabbling it out with Capira. And Zitek and Chirich as well looking pretty racy up in front. Luca Ziga holding on to 7th place for a little while. It looked like he was going to drop further down the order. But actually that car doing quite nicely now that it's wet. Quick shout out to Morphe in the chat for coming in with the joke. Surely not. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Got to put it back on the screen for that one. Shout out to Morphe, AOR, absolute goat, that man. Always there for the ridiculous puns and general fantastic memes popping up on the Discord. And if you want to get a taste of that for yourself, do join us in the Discord. Links to the Discord below this stream and obviously there even on the VOD. Also shout out to our sponsors, Driver61 and our patrons. If you want to be a patron or one of those Patreoners, do again sign up. It's all there in the description below this video or below this stream. Massively appreciated, and you get a little bit of a peek behind the curtain and a bit of sway behind the curtain as well. You get a chance to vote on circuits coming up. I think it was those crazy patrons that voted for Snetterton this time round. Oh, car number 15 we have just seen with a yellow flag. Try and find car number 15 quickly in amongst the list. I've definitely... That's Missak. What happened there? Going back. That's chasing off the back of Jay Jans. Pushing forward. What can be done here? Was it... Oh! Just tried to carry too much speed through turn 12. Back of the car. Going round. And that is it. Off and round the go. Big old whoopsie. Very, very easily done. This kind of condition, you think you've got the car absolutely stuck to the floor and then suddenly just rotates on you. Right, Jones versus Capira. This is the closest this has been in a little while. 0.2 of a second between them. Let's see if we can go on the dashboard of Jones. Let's get a bit of an idea of what he's looking through. Rain is still falling for now, not for much longer I would imagine. But it's not so much the actual rain that's falling that is the main issue, it is the spray coming off the tyres in front. I'm going to come out and say it though, the lack of drive-through penalties that I'm seeing for track infringements is incredible. Last night in a dry race, we had absolutely loads of them. This time round, not seeing it at all. Track has gone damp. So the rain, obviously not enough to keep it full wet, but only 12 minutes left of the race. No one is going to go back into the pits at this time. I can only imagine I'm going to keep going forward. Jones looks very close, but not quite able to do anything. Jumping back onto the outside view. Vera versus Jones. This is the real close one on the circuit at the moment. Saying that, Nathaniel Shirley being chased down. Well, it was saying by Jay Jans. So who is that behind him? Which car is that? That is number 3? I'm trying to have a look and see what number that is on the side of that Ferrari. It is number 3. Oh, there we go. No, the timing board, for whatever reason, was showing... You know what? I give up. I just give up at this point. Nathaniel Shirley versus Braun. That was a bit close for a little while, but it does appear to have opened back up just a smidgen. Oh, and after saying about the fact that there hadn't really been any drive-through penalties for track limits, Lucas Ziga, who's done a dominant performance and held on to 7th place, has now been the first one to be hit with the drive-through penalty for track limits abuse. You can see cars in the back going off the racing line, obviously trying to maintain the tyre temperatures. And that was Capira and Jones moving off the racing line. Obviously the temperatures in those tyres starting to get a little bit too high. Moving on to that thicker, wetter stuff on the straight, trying to get the tyre temps down. Oh, and again, big slide there now as well. He's going to have Chirich right on the back of him pretty soon. Chirich looking very racy. He's pretty much the same pace-wise up to this point, but I think it's just simply the fact that Ziga just unsettled, and I wonder if that drive-through penalty as well, maybe seeing that pop up, has just unsettled him a little bit. It's not just a physical thing, it's the mental strain that racing takes on you. It still takes effect if you're here in sim racing as well. So flinging it down again through turn 13. Are we going to see Ziga go in? No, stays out. Now, there we go. I am being told now that it is almost certainly a graphical error. Apparently, it is a bug. Strangely, the first time I've ever come across it, but it is the first time I've ever noticed one. Oh, Lucas Ziga, absolutely all over the place. He is absolutely wringing the neck out of that Porsche. I think he's going to have to come in the end of this lap, though. I mean, all very well, absolutely fighting for it, and I understand he doesn't want to give away too much. But he's going to have to give up at some point and come into the pits. I'm pretty sure he's only going to have one left after this. Might as well get it done as soon as possible, unless... Well, it's a drive-through, so I mean, he's got to come in. He can't do anything in the pit when he's there either. He's just got to just drive all the way through. Hasn't got to stop, but has got to go down to the pit limiter speed. But if he accidentally speeds at that point, then that's when it gets a real sting in the tail, because then it ends up being even more annoying than that. You end up having a stop go 30. Oh, Jones looking to the inside. Made his way past Capira at some point. We did miss that little move go on. No, it's definitely the drive-through there for Ziga. If he speeds in the pit lane, then it'll be a case of a stop go 30. He's gonna have to get the braking done. I think he just about did it. He's in there. So there we go. Z-Tech having to go right off the racing line. Again, I think chasing a little cooler temperatures for those tyres. And it did look super unsettled, to be fair. So did Jones. Ziga hemorrhaging position, still trundling his way through the pit as we speak. Finally released, but he is a long, long way back. Ah, there we go. Yeah, someone's saying if he failed to do his drive-through, he would get disqualified. That is true. Oh, Nathaniel Shirley! What has happened here? Yellow flag. We'll go back on the replay and see what we can spot, because the front end of that car looking decidedly battered. This is through turn 1. Drone cam looks to it, just gets unsettled. Long, long slide. Whack, straight into the barrier. Big load of damage to the front of that car. Luckily, he doesn't have too far to go till the race is over, but not what he would have wanted at all. Got Brogan in the K-Pax car, chasing up after the back of Jay Jans. And then you've obviously got Ziga and then Shirley as well, now in that very battle-scarred Mustang, sitting significantly further back on the track than he probably would have wanted to. Just under 6 minutes of the race left to go as well. So the rain has officially stopped. Still spray going up everywhere. To be fair though, look at Luca go immediately on the charge, trying to go for position. He's going to try and get past, I think, probably Brogan and Jans as quickly as he possibly can. I say he was running, I think it was 6th, 7th place, and now finds himself way back, sliding his way through the circuit. Turn 1, it was a big old drifty moment. Oh, I'm going to have to probably pop up back up here, actually. This battle going on now. Chris Law has found himself right on the back of Viaves. This is the battle for 3rd position. Aston Martin versus Lexus. For the DRS Esports Lexus, holding on to it as best they can. They have had to go slightly tight though. Law did manage to get his nose round the outside. They're going to be side by side. I think the Lexus should have it in a straight line. Yes, it does. Even with that slower exit of turn 14, the Lexus, a monster in a straight line, whips back across to the racing line and goes on through. Gets unsettled there though. That's going to slow him. He had to actually get on the brakes to hold the car together there a little bit. Down towards turn 2, still holding on to it. Chris Law looking to the inside now. Oh, to be fair, yeah, someone's just pointing out that the battle for P1 as well is starting to heat up significantly. Here we go. Gilroy has set the fastest lap of the race and is now coming after the back of Azar. You have to dip between these two battles, I think. Just over 3.5 minutes left to go. Chris Law looks to the inside. Not quite able to do anything there, though. Through the long turn 8. Or getting the power back on and then going down towards 10 and 11. Almost ends up being sort of this weird double apex kind of corner. Sector Blitz Racing. Aston is looking decidedly faster at the moment. This late stage of the race, tyres have really seemed to come to life. And he looks down the inside in turn 13. Getting the braking down towards turn 14. He's going to have to try and cover off the inside. He can't do it. The Lexus gets up beside him. I'm not sure he's going to be quite able to get round again. Chris Law having to go defensive stance all the way over to the left-hand side. The Lexus having that absolutely ridiculous straight line speed. It's going to be on the outside for turn 1. They give each other room. But the Lexus gets super unsettled. How on earth he managed to hold that together? I have no idea. I don't think there was any brakes. I think that was all just done on absolute mad steering of the throttle and wheel there. How on earth he managed to hold that together, I have no idea. But Chris Law does go through these two, an absolute country mile back from Azar and Gilroy. Those two, though, nothing between them whatsoever. So Gilroy in the Optimum Motorsport McLaren versus the ST Racing BMW of Azar. Minute and 50 left to go. So continuing to squabble on. Looks like we've got a pretty close one further down here as well. Nice little squabble going on down here. Vermac has picked up a drive-through penalty as well. This is Dahlblum versus Misak versus Kristanich. So this is that triplet of Ferraris that we saw earlier on. They are now squabbling it out once more. Up at the front, things have started to open up just a little bit. Craig Law done a very good job as well, already pulling away nearly a second. Oh, actually over a second now away from Viaves. This little one going on. Z-Tech as well. Finds himself in front of Jones. Front battle now starting to heat up. 30 seconds left of this lap. Sorry, of the timer for this race. And they're not going to make it to the line in that time. So I don't think this is going to be the final lap. We're going to have to wait and see. Track is greasy now. You can see there is a dry line already appeared there. I didn't think we were even going to get to this level of dryness, to be fair. Looking to the inside. Gilroy giving it absolutely everything. Zuka Zieg has gone off. Car number 199. That car off the circuit. Yellow flag. And the 888 as well there with the yellow flag. Not going to go away from it. That's it. And that was the final lap of the race. They finally got it done. Azar versus Gilroy comes across the line. Craig Law, still all the way around in turn 13, has made a huge improvement there over Viaves. Dominant performance there. Really good effort and does definitely get absolutely flying away. So Chris Law comes home in third. The battle going on back here, though. Jones versus Z-Tech. Oh, no. And Z-Tech super wide on the exit of 14. Loses the position on the final lap. And he's actually now going to have an absolute drag race to the line with Kapira. Kapira, you can see full throttle, hoping to get... He might better just dip around the outside, gain a position. Have to see how they cross the line there. Did say that Z-Tech did cross the line in front. But I think it was mighty close. What have we got here? Dorber coming across the line. Comes across the line in 12th place. Very close again there with Robert Arlavi. And a massive power slide to celebrate. I think lots of drivers had a bit of a tough time out there this evening. So we will have to wait and see who we can get to come and join us. A couple of cars out there still completing their laps now. Nathaniel Shirley coming through. Got a little quartet of cars behind as well. And hopefully we can get some post-race chats here. Typically, none of them have the same names in real life as they do in Discord. This is the downside of Discord, is that you can never tell who anyone ever is. Right, let's go across to this slightly nicer looking view. I can read through how things went for those final drivers. Oh, we have got people waiting to come in, actually, which is very nice to see. We'll have a quick read through the finishing order, and then we can go from there. It just makes it a little bit nicer if we just read through how everyone came across the line. Right, so first place was Azar, second place Gilroy, third Law, Vivez fourth, Smolders fifth, Crows sixth, Chirich seventh, eighth was Mr. Jones, Zetek in ninth, Kapira in 10th. So continuing on down, Sheckerman in 11th, Dorber 12th, Arlavi 13th, Braun 14th, Jjans 15th, Brogan 16th, Nathaniel Shirley 17th, Dolbloom 18th, Misak in 19th, Kristanish 20th, Robinson 21st, P. Sims in 22nd, Lucas Zieg all the way down to 23rd place in the end after that penalty, Mathiasen in 24th, Vermac 25th, and 26th was Izolovic. Quite a few drivers there did not see the end of the race. It's about 9 cars didn't make it to the end of the race that time round. But fair play to everyone that did manage to make it all the way through. Right, we have people waiting for interviews. Let's pull people in. I have absolutely no idea who either of these people are, because none of them have anything that even remotely resembles their name. So let's pull the first one in. Good evening. Can you hear me? Fantastic. Oh, one second. For some reason, I'm not getting anything out of the Discord. Why am I not getting noise? Were you not in tier 2? Were you tier 2 a moment ago? ACC? Hello? No, he's gone. Okay. Not who I thought it was. Okay, so I haven't actually got anyone waiting for an interview. I dragged someone completely wrong in, someone that was waiting on a different interview. So sadly, doesn't look like anyone is going to join us for a post-race interview. Big shame, but it does sometimes happen. I always encourage people to come and join me, but for whatever reason, they are not doing it this evening. So thank you ever so much, everyone that did watch along at home, and big shout out to our sponsors again, and a big shout out to everyone that was there on the circuit doing absolutely fantastic stuff, keeping us all very much up together and looking racy. So from me here, Tim360 Lun, and from me, from us at Apex Online Racing, thank you ever so much for joining us. We are back Monday 7:30 for round 6 of the championship, and then again tier 2 Tuesday. On the Tuesday afterwards, 7:30 once again. Do join us there, same time, same place. Absolutely fantastic. Good night, everyone.